My dear friends, today I want to share something that may sound a little serious, but sometimes the most important truths come wrapped in discomfort. There was once a man who worked tirelessly his entire life. He woke up early, slept late, provided for everyone, fulfilled every responsibility, and one day he was gone. No warning, no pause, no time to say, "Now I will live." And people said he was such a good man. But no one asked, did he ever lie for himself? Let's reflect on 5 reasons why men often leave this world earlier than they should and what we can do about it. Reason 1: they carry pressure like a badge of honor, my dear friends. Let me begin with a simple story. There was a man named Arif. Every morning he woke up before sunrise. Not because he loved mornings, but because responsibilities were waiting for him. A family to provide for, bills to pay, expectations to meet. He wore his responsibilities like a uniform, clean, strong, and unshakable. One day, his young son asked him, "Papa, why don't you ever cry?" Arif smiled and said, "Men don't cry." That day, a belief passed from one generation to another. You see, many men are trained, not taught, but trained to believe that emotions are a weakness. From childhood, phrases like "be strong," "don't be soft," "handle it yourself" become deeply embedded in their minds. And slowly, something dangerous happens. They stop expressing. When stress comes, they don't talk. When fear comes, they suppress. When sadness arrives, they distract themselves. On the outside, they look calm. But inside, it is like a room filled with smoke slowly suffocating. Let me ask you something. If you keep adding weight to a bridge without checking its capacity, what will happen one day? It will collapse. The same happens with the human mind. Pressure is not the problem. Unreleased pressure is the problem. Men often wear stress like a badge of honor. I can handle it. I will manage. It's my duty. But my dear friends, even a machine needs maintenance. Even a phone needs charging. Then why do we expect a human heart to carry everything endlessly without breaking? Strength is not silence. Strength is honesty. Real courage is not in hiding pain, it is in acknowledging it. Imagine if Arif had said, "Sometimes I feel tired too." Imagine if he had shared his struggles with a friend, a spouse, or even with God in a quiet moment. The burden would not disappear, but it would become lighter. Because pain shared is pain divided. And silence? Silence multiplies it. My dear friends, the strongest men are not those who never fall. They are the ones who allow themselves to feel, to express, and to heal. So let us not teach the next generation that men must suffer quietly. Let us teach them that being human is more important than being strong. Because sometimes the most powerful words a man can say are not "I've got it all together," but simply "I need help." Dart reason too. They neglect their health until it's too late. There was a man named Khalid who loved his family deeply. He worked long hours, sacrificed his comfort, and ensured that his children never lacked anything. One evening, his wife gently said, "You've been coughing a lot. Let's go see a doctor." Khalid smiled and replied, "It's nothing, just work stress." Weeks turned into months. The cough stayed. Fatigue increased. But his response remained the same: "I'm fine." Until one day, he wasn't. My dear friends, this is not just Khalid's story. It is the story of millions of men. They prioritize everything except themselves. They will service their car regularly. They will upgrade their phone when it slows down. But when their own body sends warning signals, they ignore it. Why? Because somewhere they believe stopping means falling behind. They think, if I take a break, who will handle things? But here is a deeper question: if you don't take care of your health, how long will you be able to handle anything at all? Health is silent when it is working well. But when it starts failing, it becomes the loudest problem in life. And the tragedy is, by the time men listen, it is often too late. Preventive care is not weakness, it is wisdom. A simple checkup, a balanced meal, a daily walk, these are not luxuries. They are necessities. Let me share a small reflection. Imagine you have a golden goose that lays eggs every day. Would you overwork it, neglect it, and ignore its health? Of course not. You would protect it, nourish it, and care for it. But strangely, when it comes to our own body, the source of everything we earn, everything we achieve, we take it for granted. Men often believe they are being responsible by working harder and ignoring their health. But true responsibility includes self care. Because your family does not just need your income, they need your presence, they need your laughter, they need your time, and all of that depends on your well being. My dear friends, I'll take care of it later is one of the most dangerous sentences we repeat. Later becomes never. So don't wait for pain to force you into awareness. Choose awareness before pain arrives. Eat a little better, sleep a little more, move your body, listen to its signals. Because at the end of the day, success without health is a very expensive failure. And life is not just about how long you live, but how well you live. Reason 3. They define themselves only by work. There was a man who introduced himself like this: I am a manager, not I am a father, not I am a friend, not I am a human being, just a manager. And one day, when he lost his job, he sat quietly and said, I don't know who I am anymore. My dear friends, this is a silent crisis many men face. Their identity becomes their occupation. From morning to night, their worth is measured in productivity. Their value is tied to income. Their confidence rises and falls with professional success. If work is going well, they feel important. If not, they feel invisible. But let me ask you something. Were you born with a job title? Number. You were born as a person with emotions, relationships, dreams, and purpose far beyond a paycheck. Work is a part of life. It is not life itself. Yet many men unknowingly enter a race where the finish line keeps moving. More money, more recognition, more status. And in chasing more, they lose what truly matters. They miss family dinners. They postpone vacations. They delay happiness. They say, I'm doing this for my family. But slowly, the family starts living without them. Physically present, emotionally absent. My dear friends, success is not wrong. Ambition is not wrong. But imbalance is dangerous. Imagine a table with four legs: health, relationships, personal growth, and work. If one leg becomes too long, the table becomes unstable. Similarly, when work dominates everything, life loses balance. And the irony is, even after achieving success, many feel empty. Because fulfillment does not come from what you do alone, it comes from who you are becoming. So ask yourself, if my job disappears tomorrow, what remains? Your character remains. Your relationships remain. Your values remain. That is your real identity, not your designation, not your salary, not your achievements. My dear friends, don't build a life where your worth depends on something that can be taken away. Build a life rooted in who you are. Work hard, yes, but also laugh deeply. Spend time with loved ones. Discover hobbies. Grow spiritually. Because at the end of life, people won't remember your job title. They will remember how you made them feel. And more importantly, you will remember whether you truly lived or just worked. Reason 4. They lack emotional support systems. Let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you told a friend, I'm not okay? Not jokingly, not casually, but honestly. For many men, the answer is, I don't remember. There was a group of friends who met every weekend. They laughed, joked, discussed cricket, scores, politics, and business ideas. Years passed. Their meetings continued. But one thing never happened. No one ever said, I'm struggling. One day, one of them suddenly stopped showing up. And the rest said, we didn't know he was going through so much. My dear friends, this is the silent loneliness many men experience. They are surrounded by people but emotionally alone. Not because they don't have friends, but because they don't have safe spaces. Spaces where they can speak without judgment, where they can be vulnerable without fear. Men are often taught to handle it themselves. So instead of sharing pain, they isolate with it. And isolation magnifies suffering. Think of it like carrying a heavy bag. If one person carries it alone, it feels unbearable. But if four people share it, it becomes manageable. Life is the same. Pain shared is pain reduced. But for that to happen, connection must be real, not just social but emotional. Having hundreds of contacts in your phone means nothing if you don't have one person you can truly talk to. And here is the deeper truth. Vulnerability does not weaken relationships, it strengthens them. When you open up, you give others permission to do the same. You create trust, you create depth, you create connection. My dear friends, emotional support is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Just like food nourishes the body, connection nourishes the soul. So, build relationships where honesty is welcome. Be the first one to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Reach out to someone you trust. And also, be that person for someone else. Listen without interrupting. Support without judging. Because sometimes people don't need solutions. They just need someone who understands. In the end, life is not about how many people know you. It is about how many people truly know you. And for that, we must move beyond surface conversations. We must dare to be real. Because in a world where everyone is pretending to be strong, the bravest thing you can is to be strong yourself. Do is be honest. Reason 5. They postpone happiness. There was a man who always said, I'll enjoy life later. Later, when I get promoted. Later, when I earn more. Later, when responsibilities reduce. So he kept postponing joy like an unpaid bill. One day his child asked, Papa, when will you have time to play with me? He smiled and said, Soon, but that soon quietly turned into too late. My dear friends, this is one of the biggest traps of life. We believe happiness is waiting for us in the future, that one day everything will align and then we will finally relax. But life doesn't work that way. Responsibilities don't end, goals don't stop, challenges don't disappear. So if happiness is always tied to after, it never arrives. Let me share a simple thought. Life is not a destination, it is a journey. And if you don't learn to enjoy the journey, reaching the destination won't satisfy you either. Men often carry the mindset first sacrifice, then enjoy. But they stretch. Sacrifice so long that enjoyment never comes. They miss small moments, the laughter of their children, conversations with parents, quiet evenings with loved ones. And these moments don't wait, they pass silently, irreversibly. My dear friends, happiness is not found in big achievements alone. It is hidden in small, ordinary moments. A cup of tea with family, a walk in the evening, a genuine laugh with a friend. These are not distractions from life, they are life. Don't make the mistake of thinking you are too busy to live. Because one day, life will prove that you were never too busy, you were just postponing. And here is the truth: the perfect moment does not exist. There will always be something incomplete, something pending, something uncertain. So, if you are waiting for everything to be perfect before you allow yourself to be happy, you will keep waiting forever. My dear friends, don't delay joy. Don't postpone love. Don't reschedule life. Start where you are, with what you have, right now. Because at the end, life won't ask how much you earned, it will ask how much you experienced. So don't just prepare for life, live it today.